is an URL, as you can see, which is coming from server. But now the image we see over here is pretty much hard-coded. We know that. So we need to convert, or not convert actually, we need to show this, replace this image with the image link over here, which means that we are going to load it from network, and this is where async notifier or async notifier provider comes into play, because this operation would be asynchronous. So that's why we have to use async notifier provider. Well, the first thing is that we know that this information is saved. This one, the whole information is saved in our local storage, right? So we have to first retrieve this information from local storage, and then we have to retrieve or show this image from the our server, right? Okay. Now, retrieving this information from local storage itself is also asynchronous operation. So this is where, once again, async notifier provider would help us. So, well, first go ahead and look for our file, which is called home.dart, and over there we'll see that our header is this one. Over here we do have this home app bar, right? Home app bar over here, this is the image this is the widget that's showing this image. And for now we know that if we go deep down, it is using this profile image. Profile image is actually this one. This is the default image anyway. So eventually we are going to replace this one over here, right? So that's what we want to do. So the first thing, we have to generate async notifier provider for this image. Now this image path, as I said earlier, that it resides inside this shared storage, which we have printed before actually this information which we have printed before. Okay, so we need to retrieve that. All right, to retrieve that, first actually we need to retrieve it using asynchronous operation. So over here, that's why we are going to use Riverpod Async Notifier Provider. So here I'll have Riverpod annotation, and I'm going to create a class, and I'm going to say over here home user profile, like that, and it's going to extend over here home user profile. That's it. Okay. Now, as I was saying, that we need to use async notifier provider, and how actually we do that? Well, of course, there is nothing called async notifier provider here in our app, and you cannot write async notifier provider and you don't do anything. So there is a special keyword which is called future or. Okay, future or. So this special type, and inside this you have to mention which object you want to turn into future. So when you convert an object to a future, that becomes actually async provider. I mean, if we use Riverpod. So here we need to say our user data. I think user data, this is the one that actually holds user information. Let's go ahead and take a look. Well, it looks like it's not taking me anywhere. And then over here I'll have build method. So we're going to take a look at that very soon. And over here it might say that you need to use okay, the first thing you need to use override. So you need to override the build method from the parent class, and over here we need to return something. And what do you want to return? Okay, so return over here, we're going to return global.storage. Looks like we need to import it. Go ahead and do that. This package. All right. .storage service .get user profile. This one. All right. And what else? Do you have any issues over here? Okay. Okay. Looks like it is not user data. Most probably it's user profile. Right. It should be actually user profile. So it was saying that go ahead and replace this. Now the issue is gone. Now it says remove remove this override annotation. All right, okay, let's go ahead and do that according to. So anyway, so this user profile is the class that stores user information. One more time is this one, right? So everything over here relates to this one. Now this information is being saved, we know that once we log in, right? So it's saved in our local storage. If you wonder how it was saved, I can show it you from here. So that was in our sign-in controller. Remember, once we log in over here, after logging in over here, you see that this JSON encode, it takes the whole data about user and put it over here. Okay, and then let's come over here, and then this get user profile, this is exactly, it retrieves this user profile key and then converts this thing into actually user profile, right? We know that. So this is something that we want to get. So what we are trying to say over here, so we are saying, okay, get this information. And what does that mean? When I say get this information, retrieve this from our local storage, okay? Now, retrieving this from local storage makes it asynchronous, all right? So that's why we say that over here, to retrieve this information and show the information on the UI, we have to use async notifier provider. Now, since we have used this feature, or it will turn this provider into async notifier provider. All right, okay. Now I'm gonna come over here in this terminal, and I want to type in, not this one actually. So I'm gonna type in this one, and it's gonna make output, and it's running. Looks like it should be successful, and I think it did. It did, because the error is gone, right? Now, if you go ahead and take a look at our file over here, and we're gonna see over here, okay, no issue. Yes, it showed up. Eventually, it showed up. Sorry. Now over here, wow. So this is something over here. You see that async notifier provider has been generated. So of course, it's async notifier provider, but at the same time, it's auto dispose async notifier provider. I mean, we have learned it before that. Okay, so pretty much all the default providers are all auto dispose, but now here it also tagged over here. It's an async notifier provider, which is very different from this one. You see, this is just a notifier provider. Idea is, in general, when you generate notifier provider or generate provider in Riverpod using the new tool, then these are all notifier provider, which means that they don't do any asynchronous operation like normal data type like this. But once you just have mentioned over here, like return type should be future, then it automatically generates async notifier provider, which we can see it over here. Right, so that's the big difference. Now this is, when it generates, it does a lot of things internally. We don't need to worry about it. Okay, so that's it's or her business to continue that how it becomes asynchronous. Okay, that's not our business. All we need to do, need to mention it over here. Okay, so you are you are going to do asynchronous operation or asynchronous data retrieving or whatever you say. Okay, so the idea is it has to be something that you retrieve, get data, or something that you need to await. Of course, if you want to retrieve data from local storage, you have to await, right? We know that. Anyway, so that's been done, and that's also helped us to understand the difference between notifier provider and async notifier provider. All right. Now, being said that, we need to come to our home page over here. Now, as we are saying, that this one over here, this app bar, we want to make and show the image from the server, right? Now, first thing, since let me see, we are inside consumer stateful widget, so actually we can pass the ref object. Now, if we pass the ref object, it will throw an error, so we need to get it over here as well. So here we do widget ref. Okay. All right. So now we'll see that the error should be gone. Yes, right. Okay, now since we are over here, actually we'd be able to get our profile state. So here I can say profile state. Since we have access to ref objects, so we could do ref.watch. And then over here you want to get, what was it? So home user profile provider. This is the one that you want to get. All right, beautiful. So now this is gonna return us something, and this something is going to return in await format, async await, which is a future type. So we need to wrap this around something called like this, profile state dot when. Okay, so it's more like it's going to retrieve the data and then it's going to show you the data. And if it can't retrieve the data, if it has error, so the error would be shown over here as well. Okay, all right, now for error itself, over here you can show error and loading, things like that. Now what I'm going to do over here, I'm going to whatever is being coming from this profile state, I'm going to grab it in this data variable and then I'm going to return it like this. Okay, so the error is gone. So now what's happening over here? Now this could be a new concept. Previously we just return gesture data to returning a widget, right? Now with this it still returns a widget, as you can see over here, this arrow function which tells us that we are returning something, right? So we still have a widget over here, but it does something before it shows it on the UI and returns. So that's what is happening over here. Okay, and how to work with this one? Now the error itself takes something called error, and I think called stack. I mean, after this you can just simply go ahead and return a container, empty container. You don't need to show anything, and for loading itself it doesn't take anything. Once again, you can just go ahead and return an empty container for now, but we are going to optimize that. Okay, definitely you can optimize it. So if it has error, if it cannot load, actually you can show a default image, right? In fact, we could return it over here as our image. What image? So this is the image that actually we can go ahead and copy and put it over here, but instead of menu we're gonna profile. This is the default profile photo in our image folder, in our resources folder. So if this image that we are going to retrieve from the server, this one, if it fails, then we're going to show this one. All right, and the loading itself just empty container, because I don't want to show any loading icon, at least for now, over here. Now anyway, so it's going to give us this data, right, which is being retrieved from here, and we want to pass the data to this image over here. You see, you can pass an image path. As you can see, currently it's showing the default one, but we want to show an image path, and how we are going to do that. So now, since we have access to this data, actually this data, remember, is different from this one. This is the data retrieved. Okay, it holds all of our information. Of course, if you want, you can also change it to different, say, value. It will still work. Okay, now here value, so here we're going to pass it like this, image path value dot avatar. Okay, because we know that whatever it's returning, it has this avatar object. Now we do have a few issues. First thing, okay, a type of null cannot be assigned to the string in a const constructor. So here we are going to remove this, because it could be null, but here, because we retrieved it, so here we are saying that, okay, I know that I have retrieved it as information, so I'm going to say that this is not going to be null. All right, okay, so let's go ahead and hit it. So this image would have the image path, right? Okay, image path. And what image path actually we are talking about? Okay, so let's go ahead and auto load. All right, and we might have an issue. Okay, that is, well, that's gone. So there is this issue that we don't see anything, right? So that's one problem, because it threw up an exception over here. It's unable to load. It doesn't really know what is this path, right? Now, of course, we have to provide extra path to it. So we can open up our const file over here. Now this is the server URL, right? Okay, now I can just attach server URL and try to visit that. Okay, and this is something that we can do it right away. So let's come over here inside this, and I want to assign the value like this, actually. So here I'll have app consts, because we are getting it from network, so we need to mention our server URI. Okay, all right. And after doing that one over here, we could do like this, but this might throw an error. Let me do it like this. But it looks like this still has error. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this, then I'm going to put it like this, and then I'm going to put it inside this. But now this one also has to be dynamic variable. So I'm going to cut this, and okay, now it should work, right? Okay, so this whole thing become dynamic. Okay, so this is our server URI, this is avatar. So what we are expecting that let me go ahead and close this. We also don't need this one. So whatever it is, and after that we put uploads default, and we'd be able to visit our image and show it on the UI. So that's what we're expecting. Let me close it down over here. Okay, now let's go ahead and restart our app. Okay, and we still don't see. Okay, and it looks like it's still the image issues. Now here it says that, okay, well, you said that there is an image in this path, but I cannot load it. So what we could do right now, we can actually try to see if we can visit this one on the URL in our browser or not. Yes, looks like we can. Here we can't. Why not? So let's go ahead and check this one. So this is asset image, right? Now there is this problem I can say, because we are loading network image, but here we said decorate asset image, right? So we need to change it. So we need to change it to network image. All right, now let's go ahead and restart. Beautiful. So we just load our image from the network, and at the same time we also have maintained the state. Everything happened through async notifier over here. So once again, if we see the controller, our controller over here, we have defined our local storage information, that would be async notifier type, and we load it, and after loading it, we first send our ref object to our app bar widget, and then over here we got the related async notifier provider. Remember, this is our async notifier provider. And then we dissect it, we unzip the information inside it. We unzip it using this when, and at the same time we have set error and loading state. Okay, all right, now we still need to work a bit on this, but you get the basic idea. So, and every data is provided inside this variable. Whatever it is there, you can grab that one, and after that, if you have other properties, you can also get them, and related information you can show it on the UI. So that's how actually async notifier provider works.